Good morning. Welcome to an episode of the Hollywood Hour as we go out exploring around Hollywood and beyond. Today, we're at the former home, the home that Bela Lugosi died at. There's one of these apartments right here. He actually died of a heart attack on his couch. Bela Blasco, known professionally as Bela Lugosi, was a Hungarian and American actor best remembered for portraying Count Dracula in the 1931 horror classic Dracula, Igor and Son of Frankenstein, and his roles in many other horror films from the 1933 through 1956. Bela Lugosi was born on October 20th, 1882 in Lugosi, Kingdom of Hungary. He died on August 16, 1956, at the age of 73 in Los Angeles, California. His son is Bela George Lugosi. Now, Lugosi may have been typecast and reduced to second billing later in his career, but in Dracula, he was the star of the show. Sadly, though, he wasn't paid accordingly, while David Manners made around $2,000 per week for his role as Jonathan Harker. Co-star Lugosi earned just $500. Lugosi in Dracula 1931, the number one spot had to go to Bela Lugosi, who portrayed Dracula in the 1931 Universal Pictures film, remains a classic to this day. Contrary to popular belief, he only played Count Dracula in two films, Dracula 1931 and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein in 1948. Typical role in the modern mythology and rich legend of the iconic Count Dracula. Although he achieved a great deal of fame while playing Count Dracula both on stage and on the screen, actor Bela Lugosi suffered a lifetime of being typecast in the horror villain or mad scientist. A problem was that he only exuberated by a serious morphine addiction later in his career. Lugosi started making movies in his native Hungary and moved on to German productions before finally landing in America. Now, Bela Lugosi was married 5 times. One wife was Iona Smithwitz from 1917, divorced in 1920. Iona van Montaut, married in 1921, divorced in 1924. His companion was Clara Bowl. He was also married to Beatrice Woodworth Weeks from He married and divorced in 1929. He was also married to Lillian Arch. Married in 1933, divorced 1953. That's the mother of Lugosi's son. And his last wife was where he was living when he died. It was Hope Lidinger, and married in 1955 until his death in 1956. And he was in the hospital trying to get straight from his recovery of morphine addiction, and she had written him, and she convinced him to marry her, and then he came to live with her on Harold Way. He's the best known actor to have played Dracula. No entry would be complete without it. He's the most famous portrayal of the character. Had headlined the 1931 Universal Studios film Dracula. His calm demeanor and devilish look lent to a truly terrifying version of the character. The very first Dracula was Bela Lugosi in the 1931 film Dracula. The first appearance of Dracula was 1897. It was created by Bram Stoker, based on the Vlad III Dracula. Lugosi began acting on the Hungarian stage in 1902 after playing in 172 different productions in the state of Hungary. Lugosi moved on appearing in Hungarian silent films in 1917. He had to suddenly emigrate to Germany after the failed Hungarian Communist Revolution of 1919 because of his former socialist activities, organizing a stage actors union, leaving the first wife. In the process, he acted in several films in Vienna, Germany, before arriving in New Orleans as a seaman on a merchant ship, then making his way north to New York City and Ellis Island. By 1927, he starred in Count Dracula on Broadway, adaptation of Rod Serling novel, Moving with the play of the West Coast in 1928 and settling down in Hollywood. He later starred in the 1931 film version of Dracula, directed by Todd Browning, and produced by Universal Studios. Through the 1930s, he occupied an important niche in horror films and notoriety as Dracula. An ominous, Hungarian accent greatly limited the roles offered to him, and he unsuccessfully tried for years to avoid the typecasting. Now he's buried at the Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California, off of Slauson. And other names with Astrid Ott. Occupation is active. He is active from 1902 to 1956. He came from humble beginnings. Dogged by social unrest and smaller performances, he rose to stardom as an emerging Hollywood star. As he started to make a name for himself as an actor, uh, he struggled with the English language when starring in Broadway's The Red Poppy. One of the first performances, he had only the most tenuous grasp of the language. Nevertheless, with some tutoring, he was able to memorize the pronunciation. He learned his lines phonically and delivered that even though didn't truly understand the words he was saying. So Lugosi's life wasn't all glamour. Actually, it was far from it. With the success came an impressive shoulders to rub. It was an instant he was once photographed with Mr. Believe It or Not himself, Robert Ripley. For almost a decade, Ripley owned a boat named the Monlee Infinity. The remarkable craft hosted some lavish events during Ripley's time with it, and Lugosi was in attendance at one of the Lugosi's charm and personality even took him in the 1947 cocktail party and the Chinese junk to swap, believe it or not, stories with Robert L. Ripley. Writes Gary Don Rhodes and the Lugosi, his life and films on stage and in the hearts of horror lovers. Hi, this is the former home of Bela Lugosi, Hungarian-born actor. This is where he lived with his fifth wife. This is where he died on the couch in Hollywood. He was allegedly buried in his Dracula costume. I don't. Hi, this is the former home of Bela Lugosi. This is where he died. He went to sleep on his couch. He died in 1956. He was buried in his Dracula cape. For the full blog and history, subscribe to the channel for more, to learn more about the Hollywood haunts and histories from Bela Lugosi to Frank Sinatra to more. Hit subscribe to the channel and leave a comment and notification bell. Here you find a copy of his death certificate, newspaper clippings from his death. You see his burial, his tombstone out at the Holy Cross Cemetery. You even see him being wheeled out of his apartment that he was living in, and pictures that they had taken in his coffin. And then on the bed, I believe that was in the hospital, but I'm not sure of that, when he was in the hospital getting in the recovery. Just various pictures of Bela Lugosi and his son and being taken out on the stretcher, newspaper clippings of his death, profiles of other people who had done the apartments, clips from the movie scenes, movie posters, and pictures of him in costume. Now, no list is ever complete without mentioning the best, and the one who created Dracula both on stage and on the big screen was Bela Lugosi. His headlined the 1931 Universal Pictures film in Dracula, and he also created Dracula from the book on stage on Broadway. He had a calm demeanor and diverse look that lent to truly terrifying version of the character. Hollywood Says. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, let us know what you think. Hollywood Says. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. Hollywood Says. Thanks for watching.